Ambassador, all the distinguished guests, my wife, and children. I just want to start by saying that Father Moretti helped us get this event off on the right start with all the rain that you had to put up with getting in this building. We're often referred to around here, I'm learning, as Foggy Bottom. I think maybe with his prayer, you will not make this be Soggy Bottom, and you're drying off a little bit in here. I have to tell you a quick story before I get into my remarks about our visit with the Secretary over to India. I got on the phone to wish my 8-year-old a happy birthday, since her birthday coincided with me being over there. And she excitedly picked up the phone and said, Daddy, it's so good to talk to you. You got your picture in the paper with Hillary. Now you're really famous. So that's what it takes around this building, Ambassador, to get really famous with the Secretary, with a visit like that. I'm honored. It's a pleasure to appear before you today to commemorate my swearing in as Ambassador to India. I would like to thank President Obama and Secretary Clinton for giving me the great honor and opportunity to serve my country at this pivotal historical point in our relationship with India. It is an honor to have the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, here today. She has been a personal friend of mine and a mentor for many years and traveled extensively with us on trips abroad. I also want to thank Undersecretary Burns for being here to swear me in. He holds almost every title imaginable in this building, but most of all, he commands the respect of everybody in this building. I'd also like to, before I greet everybody out there today, a dear friend of mine who has taught me so much about foreign policy and honor and loyalty and Indiana politics, Lee Hamilton, who's here today. I'd also like to thank the Honorable Deputy Chief of Mission, Ambassador Singh from India, namaste, as well as other notable ambassadors from the region, including the ambassadors and chargés from Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, as well as former ambassadors, my former colleagues on the Hill, and distinguished American diplomats whose expertise I will rely on as I embark on my new assignment. I also want to thank my colleagues on the India desk who have helped and supported me throughout this entire process. Their help, their work, their insight has been extremely beneficial to me. And most importantly, I would like to thank my family, including my wife Sally, who is willing to go on this great adventure with me, with our family, and has always been willing, through politics, through running for office, to take new steps into the unknown. I love you and look forward to this journey with you. To my children, Patrick, Matthew, Sarah, and Grace, for their sense of optimism and support, and as ambassadors, junior ambassadors, to reach out to the Indian people. To my mother and father-in-law, Mary and Bennett Johnston, who are present today, and who I have grown to love and respect so much in my life. I would not be here without their love and support. As my entire family embarks on this exciting journey and reaches to our new Indian neighbors and colleagues, I know we are answering President Obama's call to public service and community engagement. There are so many other wonderful people here that I'd like to recognize who have supported me throughout my career and my community. You all know who you are: members of Congress, former members of Congress, neighbors, teachers, coaches, people who have nurtured and taught my children. A part of you goes with us to India. That's what America is about, taking our values abroad and sharing our heart and soul with other people. You will be with us, but I also encourage you to physically come and see this great country. Secretary Burns talked about some of the predecessors. When I was there just a few days ago, I stayed at a place called the Roosevelt House. That gives you an impression of the kind of importance we put on this relationship. Our greatest leaders, President Franklin Roosevelt, who helped build the middle class, President Theodore Roosevelt, who helped strengthen our military and Navy, and said, "Speak softly and carry a big stick." And Eleanor Roosevelt, who reached out to empower women and civil rights. These are leaders that I will wake up with and go to sleep with every night. Their legacy and their lessons for me as I work with the great people of India. India and America share an historic destiny, a rendezvous with great responsibility for world affairs. While they have long been separated by a great distance, there has been a continuous and complex stream of influence that has only grown stronger over the years. Great American thinkers, such as Henry David Thoreau, was influenced by ancient Sanskrit scriptures. So many years later, the circle of influence was enlarged when the father of modern India, Mahatma Gandhi, read the writings of Henry David Thoreau. Thoreau and others were influenced in turn by the beginning of Western understanding of India's long tradition of metaphysical thought. Gandhi's philosophy of nonviolent resistance then became an example for Martin Luther King's thinking in launching the modern civil rights movement in America. In his visit to India 50 years ago, Dr. King said that he traveled as a tourist to many nations, but he said, quote, "To India I travel as a pilgrim," unquote. I have just returned from India, where I participated in Secretary of State Clinton's extraordinarily successful visit. In addition to being an outstanding American leader, Secretary Clinton is a vigorous advocate of U.S. foreign policy values and a very talented communicator. The Indian people who know her from her first days as First Lady and her trip to India in 1995 warmly embraced her during events in both Mumbai and New Delhi. Her meetings with Prime Minister Singh and External Affairs Minister Krishna and other officials were successful and were conducted with a combination of seriousness and real dialogue that represent American diplomacy in its best traditions, all with very impressive results. While in India, Secretary Clinton and Indian Minister of External Affairs Krishna made significant progress by signing the Joint Science and Technology Endowment Agreement that created a $30 million endowment to be used for joint research and development, innovation, commercialization activities in science and technology. The U.S. and India signed a Technology Safeguards Agreement, further facilitating our cooperation with the Indian space program. We also agreed, as Secretary Burns mentioned, to end use monitoring agreements, which will benefit both countries, creating jobs in American high-tech and defense sectors while boosting India's ability to defend itself against radical extremism. The government of India has even designated 2 nuclear energy park sites in India for development by U.S. companies. With all due respect to Indian officials, Ambassador Singh, many have said that, quote, "Sky is the limit to the U.S.-India relationship." The signing of our Technology Safeguard Agreement and our growing space cooperation. I, however, would say that we cannot mark the limits of our relationship with India because we've gone beyond the boundary of the skies and space. There are no limits to this broadening and deepening relationship. I look forward to working closely with the Obama administration and the Secretary to help broaden and deepen this relationship over several years. I was amazed at the mutual excitement and admiration that both sides have to this new relationship and the potential areas of cooperation, especially in areas of